A typical thing to consider on a conservatory roof design is rafter spacing and rafter layout. So we're just going to go through that in this video. First, I'm going to take the cursor and click the left-hand mouse button in the center of this elevation right here. Notice that the contents of the edit area changes, and we have a drop-down menu here that allows us to select Edit Rafters. Notice that the software puts sufficient rafters into this roof layout in order to ensure that the rafter spacing does not exceed 800 millimeters. This is specified in this field here. And you'll also notice the division type is set to maximum separation. So what we can do is we can change the division type. First of all, I'm going to click the opposite side of the roof using the left-hand mouse button in the center of the elevation and select the Edit Rafters option. You can change division tab to n equals and specify the number of bars. We can change 5 to 4, or we can add a bar and make it 6. Each time the software will equally space each rafter. You can change the spacing individually if necessary. Simply bring the cursor over the measurement shown, double-click, and add the measurement in the window provided. You can then choose using these options here on how the roof layout will be affected by your change. In other words, you can choose to move this rafter here, or this rafter, or both in equal amounts. So within this quick toolbar, you also have undo and redo functions here. So let's undo here and bring us back to what we had before. As well as changing the spacing individually, you can also change them as a whole. You can do this by first using left-hand mouse click on this side and then going to the drop-down menu in the edit area and selecting Edit Rafters, then User Separation Division Type. And this will generate a list of all the spacings on this side of the roof here, working from the host wall forwards. Typical reasons for changing bar spacing: some systems require a certain amount of clearance between the last rafter spacing and the end of the ridge. So let's say that clearance in this case was 70 millimeters. We would take the ridge length shown here at 3.05 meters, taking away 70 millimeters and dividing by 4 in order to determine the required spacing. So I'm just going to do that quickly on my calculator here. Take away the 70 millimeter clearance, assuming it is 70 millimeters. Divide the answer by 4, and that leaves me with 745 millimeters. So let's enter that in here, and then we can hit apply. You can see that leaves quite a large spacing to finish. We can now take our cursor and click with the left-hand mouse button in the center of the triangle and then right-hand mouse button to generate the drop-down menu. Here you have a split option where you can split into 2, and that will give you 2 equal spaces, as you can see here. Also, by using the right-hand mouse button, you can align one side to the other, which just saves a little bit of time. There you go. Okay, so what I'm going to do is align my jack rafters up. You don't have to do that, but it helps to make a nice even layout. As I did before, I'm going to double-click the left-hand mouse button over the dimension line provided and then change the measurements to ensure my jack rafters line up. So from time to time, additional icons will appear in the quick toolbar along the bottom. Just to show you, for example, if we were to click the left-hand mouse button over one of the rafters, you will see the icons appear. A lot of these functions do similar things to what we've already shown in the edit area on the right. So let's have a look. We've got a delete function, so we can delete a bar. You can align rafters with the windows below, or you can align rafters over the ridge like we did earlier using the right-hand mouse click. As you can see, that brings the bar back. You can also change the position of the bar by using this function here. We were doing that by simply double-clicking over the measurement. So you can also use these icons, which will perform the same job. Finally, there's a splay option. So if you've got a rafter in the front, you can splay it and jack it independently using the icon provided. This can also be done in the edit area using the drop-down menu. You will notice that these icons will perform this function on the entire layout as opposed to the rafters individually. For more tutorial videos, visit the support area on our website.